Hello everybody and welcome back to the Engineer's Guide to the Galaxy. In this episode we're going to finish the tram. So that means that this thing needs a roof. It needs to fit under this first bit. The remainder of the tracks has a little bit more height. I need to add the programming. And actually, that's why I have left some space under here, so that I could, relatively easily reach the screens, some test buttons, and the script, the programmable block. Another thing, I need to place the buffers. This one I only placed, I need to weld it up. The other side I do need to place. But for that I need to move. And that's the thing I'm going to start with. I will be moving the tram a little bit more forward. Just under that bit. And let's see how tall I can make this tram. Looking at this bit, I think I can go, max 2 blocks. That means that the interior space here will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks high. And here in the center 6 blocks. Well, at least now we know. And I will be going back into the station so that I can do a little bit of design work, since the height of the space is a little bit higher than where I am now, and I've got some room to move around the tram. Okay, so 2 blocks. Let's start with this bit. Another thing I do want to add is a sound block. I know it's not really useful right now, but this tram was intended to be completely pressurized, and I would like to design it also that way. That also means that there needs to be a grating in the ceiling in order to have the tram itself kept pressurized, because when the doors close and there are characters in the tram, the oxygen gets used up, and that's not the plan. And that those two things will come here in between, in the center. I will figure that all out. At least the entire roof with those functional blocks and the buffers. In the meantime, I do have to deal with that fighter drone that's coming. It's just the one, so that's not really a big deal. And as mentioned earlier, or in a previous episode, I did turn off the asteroids, because somehow, I'm not sure why, the game became incredibly laggy when there was a asteroid shower or a meteor shower. The tram has its roof. I did have to make a little bit of adjustments here at the front. It's barely visible, but I've exchanged the sloped blocks on the side to these ones, so that I can make this transfer area over here. So that's all done. The tram is not fully at full height. There's a little bit of space in between that part of the tunnel and the top of the tram. About, well, almost a whole block, small grid block. So this is done. I've built both of the buffers on either side. There's our sound blocks, there's the grating, but there's something I need to do, and that is build some lights, because, well, in the tram and especially in the tunnel it will be rather dark. So let's see. These blocks are ideal to place some corner lights against. Yeah, this will do. Okay. Next thing, I do need to name all the blocks in here. Well, properly actually, because I'm going to use a script. But before I'm going to do that, I want to be finished with the building. And that means that there needs to be a station on this other side, which is almost the same as on that side. And then there's an interesting thing, because I am probably able to connect that to this hallway actually. Just have to look for a way to do that. And I do want to split the entrance of the walkway on the side. I want that to go around and not continue to the platform. So I am going to build a couple of things, and I will see you in a second. The building work is complete, and you may be wondering why I am in the main bay. Well, the original idea was that when you arrive with a shuttle, like that one that is a bit in the dark over there, you can come this way, go through this door, and it would be nice if there was artificial gravity. Come down these stairs. These are the hallways that run along the main bay, so you can go down to this hallway earlier, and then you go down to this bit, and as I said, it would be nice if there was artificial gravity. And then there is this station at the bow of the ship, and it runs all the way to the back. So this is complete. The task at hand now is fixing the last things on the tram, and we can go this way to the tram. It's only a bit of a walk, so let's fly. Alright, yeah, the tram itself is finished, the tunnel is finished, the stations are finished. The thing with the tram itself is that only a couple of the blocks have been named, mostly the wheels, sensors, but there are a lot of other things that need to be named. And then we can start with the easy automation and all the functional blocks that are working with easy automation. Those are all located down below, as I've shown before. So I will be setting this up. One thing I want to show in advance, because there are a lot of buttons everywhere. There are 4 buttons on the tram itself to start going to the bow station or to this core station where the tram is currently. So what I do normally in that kind of situation is I have a timer block that is triggered by all these buttons. And then I've got a timer block that starts the process where the tram is going from this station to the bow station. And I've got a timer block that starts the process from starting from the bow station going to the core station, to this station. There is never a situation that both these timers are on. There's always at least one off, or they're both off. And this first timer block that is triggered by all the buttons triggers both these timers. So when a cycle is stopped, one of these timer blocks is on, and a new cycle can start. So that is how this tram works. And as I mentioned, I have to do some renaming and some programming, and I'll be right back. I'm about halfway of setting up the blocks and the script within the tram, but I wanted to show you a little bit in between, and that is the resetting of the wheels. As I mentioned, during saves, but also when the large grid, the ship in this case, and thereby the tracks have been moved or are moving, then the tram tends to be not aligned with the tracks anymore. So for that I have set up this blue button, And I want to see if I get a good shot where I push the button and see the wheels. Come on. And the idea is that the side wheels and the bottom wheels, that they retract inwards, and then first the side wheels are extended again against the track to the side, and then the bottom wheels are extended back towards the tracks to the sides of these catwalks. So if I push this button, see a little bit of movement, and right now the tram is completely aligned again, and that should be properly visible from the front side. As you can see over there and over there. So that's the most important part, that's that the tram is aligned with the tracks. If it is centered, that's even better. And it looks like that's the case right now. So for now, I'm going to continue with the setup. Maybe change this up a little bit, because I do have too much blocks over here. So I'll be right back. Alright, the moment of truth. I think I'm ready with the setup. At least of the train itself. I do need to fix something for the buttons and the LCDs on the stations, but that's really not that hard. Yeah. One final check. As I mentioned, these timers shouldn't be on simultaneously, and backward is off, so I should go forward when pressing this button, but I reckon I've destroyed these timer blocks to relocate them. So let's see. Backward is off, forward's on, so here we go. Oh, sound works. It shouldn't, but it works. Doors close. Okay, let's take a seat. And something's wrong. Well, at least the first bit works. I'm not sure why it's not working. The lights have changed. The buffer is still out. Strange. Let's see if we can fix this real quick, because I'm not sure what the problem is exactly. It took a whole long while to get here, but the tram did get to the end, and it locked and it worked as it should be, so that's a good thing. The speed and getting stuck is not so good, so I am going to try this thing where I've exchanged the sideways catwalks with just normal panels, and I'm hoping that this works. It seems a lot smoother, so well, we'll see. I will see if I can get the tram to go the other way around, and I'm not going to be in it. It's still weird that the sound works while I'm in a vacuum, but well. And it disconnects because the system lags. And it's moving, and it's getting stuck again and moving a little bit. I did check that the wheels are all turning the correct way. Otherwise the entire tram is able to move, so... Okay, come on, get to that part. Alright, this seems to be working a lot better. And there it gets again against the catwalks. Alright, this will be a big thing to exchange because the catwalks, the components for that use a lot of inventory space. The panels, they don't. They only use three steel plates, so that's quite easily done. This removing of these catwalks is mostly a big thing. So I'll be busy with that, and let's see if I can get this thing working a lot better than it is right now. I ended up replacing all the blocks over here, and it took a long time going back and forth with all the materials, all the components from the catwalks. So that has been done. Another thing that I did was remove the airtight hangar doors that were placed here and here in the bottom. So that means that there's no more transfer pit in between in the middle of the tracks. I just wanted to function correctly, and all the lag, the system should be able to handle it, but all the lag made it really struggle. So that's one thing. Another thing I did is set up these buttons and screens. So these LCDs, the only thing I had to do was change the name to the same name as the LCDs in the tram itself. The script triggers these statements when leaving before connecting or disconnecting the connector, so the grids are still connected, and it updates at arrival after the connector is connected at the new station. So this works perfectly, and for this bit, this is also really simple. This button, it does exactly the same thing as the buttons in the tram. It triggers that single timer block. I believe it's this one, the engage, and then it will call the tram to this station. So let's try it. As you can see, next stop core station, which is this is core station. And I shouldn't be standing on the edge of the platform, but well, this one time Yeah, the system is really lagging right now, so the tram is disconnecting. And another time, so that's around the time the wheels are reset, and I believe it is coming. Yeah. I also made a couple of changes to the tram itself, to the programming. For instance, it's going twice as fast. The top speed is set at 100 kilometers an hour, and the first brake is set to 50 kilometers an hour. And it really is a shame that the system is not running at simulation speed of 1. That was the first brake. I also extended the second brake a little bit longer because it's going a little bit faster right now. You can see the buffer is used. And then it will connect. The system will lag a lot. I also extended the sound of the alarm before the doors are opening. The piston of the buffer is retracted, and it all works. So yeah, let me show you there are just a few changes. This is still standard. You can see this is also the reason I use a lot of references to other pieces of code, because it's used a lot of the times or in multiple sequences. I also had to change the wheels, the side wheels, to the maximum extension because the catwalks have been removed and they have a certain thickness. And another thing is that the strength of the side wheels was too low, so they didn't have the strength to align the tram to the tracks. So that is also something that had to be fixed, and it works. As you can see, the first brake is setting it to 50 kilometers per hour, second to 3, and I had to extend this delay where the handbrake is on, otherwise it would bounce quite effectively against the wall, and I don't want to let the system break. This is all the same. Yeah, here velocity max 100 kilometers an hour. So the entire system is working, and let's enjoy the ride. And I can also show you the light change when I press this button. And let's go to the front. Doors are closed. So there's a little bit lag. There it is for disconnecting. And the wheel reset, and there we go. Acceleration takes a little bit of time. Somehow the traction on these armor panels is lower than on the sides of the catwalks, but it feels really natural actually. And as you can see, we're gaining a little bit of speed up to about 25 meters per second, which is almost 100 kilometers per hour. And it's quite a bit faster than just walking. to the back or to the front of the ship. That was the first brake. Second brake and stop. And there we are at bow station. Wait for the connect. And there we are. And I really am going to place a gravity generator somewhere at the front half of the ship. Because, yeah, no gravity is really annoying when walking around. But here it is. The tram has been finished completely. It's functional, even with all the lag and the simulation speed of 0.25 or even lower. This kind of things are still possible within this game, and that is why I love playing this game and building and programming, although it's not really programming, it's a little bit programming. And this system, this tram, the tracks along the entire length of the ship, this is something that I had in mind from the very start of the series. This is what I want to build, and this is why this ship has this size. And I must admit, I did underestimate the impact on game performance regarding the size and complexity of the ship, but still it works. It's possible. Well, it's basically a train on a plane. So yeah, I really enjoyed building this project. And with that, I do want to end this episode. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I did. And I hope to see you next time.